Remember, if you want more detailed information on this restoration, you can go to the links down on the bar right below the video, being the links to the iBoats thread, which it has all the pictures that you could ever want on this restoration, my Facebook page, facebook.com/Frisco Boater, and my website, friscoboater.com. friscoboater.com has a blog that's usually updated also, just like iBoats.com, but the first place to look is my iBoats.com thread for any updates. And if you want instant updates, make sure you like my Facebook page, because that's where I kind of post my thoughts as I'm doing things. So enjoy the video. Morning, everybody. It's Sunday morning, probably about 10:30, something like that. We're going to get started on grinding this boat again. I'm not going to put the camera up beside it because I think this camera was having some problems yesterday, and I think the dust or something was getting in there. I have no idea, but the camera would record for about 15 or 20 seconds and it would stop recording. I blew it all out with my air thing, and it was perfectly fine after that. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this rest of this grinding done, and then we'll kind of talk about everything when it's all said and done. I mean, this is pretty repetitive. Just get in here, grind the boat, and then move on. So Dad got out here this morning, first thing, and started measuring the boat for the carpet. You like our notepads? So this is what all the stuff that we've got to be able to order all of our carpet. We're going to go find that this week sometime. But this will go on with we've got a notepad up there on the shelf also that has all of our other measurements also. This is a very, very crucial thing, is to take as many measurements as you can. So I'm going to get back to grinding. Well, I think the nightmare is pretty much over for now. It is, I'd say, 99.9% done. Obviously, you're always going to do a little more grinding from here time to time whenever you're reassembling everything. But at least we know that most of it's done. I tried to go up as much as I needed to around where the deck is going to be, so that way you can tab the deck in, and it goes up a little further because we have the the gas tank mounts that are over here. So you don't have to do the entire hull. The reason I did it on the Sea Ray is because I was gel coating it. I needed to have a perfectly good surface. All the rest of these areas that are not ground out are going to be carpet. So we're just going to shoot adhesive back down and put carpet over it, so there's no use in taking glass off. You don't have to. So it's done. We're going to clean it out and pressure wash this really, really good. By the way, you see how I ground down back there? That's going to be painted. That's why we took it off. Did that on both sides. And then took the wire brush up to about right here, just trying to get rid of it. You know, it had a whole bunch of glue on it, and it came off pretty nice. But we're going to take the pressure washer to it and just get any grease that's left over, scrub this hole on the inside 100%. You know, get it, you know, and then go over and see if we missed anything. Obviously, there's a lot of dust and a lot of stuff like that, but so far it is going along pretty smooth. I think we're 8 hours into this now, and now we get to put things back together. So I think what we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to pressure wash it, clean it up really good, and then clean all of our equipment out here, and then roll it back in and make sure our measurements are okay, and go pick up some wood. Start cutting this next weekend, I guess. It's mid-afternoon and I'm done grinding and I'm pooped. After all day yesterday grinding, I'm finally finished and I'm ready to take a little bit of, enjoy a little bit of my weekend. So let me kind of show you what I've come up with. I've mocked up kind of the old stringers in here so we can kind of refresh our memory and kind of make a game plan of how we're going to do things to put it back in. And that's crucial what you have to do. You're going to forget. So whenever you start doing things, you take it apart, you think you're going to remember, but that's why I document so much with pictures. That way I can come back and remember. And I tell you, we had a little brain fart and couldn't remember what we were going to do. Mocked it all back up, and now we can kind of see and kind of helps things get going. So let me tell you what the game plan is here with the stringers. All right, so you can see that I have the old stringers, which we were able to save, still in here. You can see where they stopped there. That's where they're rotten right there. So those are actually, looks like pine. They are about 4.5 inches tall at their widest point. So we're going to actually, and they're almost 11 feet long. So we're going to get, let's see, 2 by 6 by 12 good quality pine. If I can find Douglas fir, I will, but it's really, you just want to make sure you don't have a whole lot of knots in it, that's all. This stuff is actually very, very good quality, it looks like, so we'll try to get the best possible quality we can. But it still was full of knots. You can see there's a knot right there, so I mean, honestly, it's good wood. Your strength comes from your fiberglass work. That's what it is. I mean, you could put foam in here and it's going to be perfectly fine. So, but anyway, I've got these mocked up, and what we'll do is we'll trace them out on the new wood itself, and then what we're going to do from where it starts getting rotten, we're just going to extend it all the way out with the same height, and hopefully that'll continue to work. And they're cheap pieces of wood, so if we screw it up, no big deal. We go back and we cut it again. And then you can see that I have a 2x4 across here, and that is just showing me my deck height. I was trying to make sure that it was going to sit just right. I couldn't remember if it touched right here or not, and actually it does not. So what we're going to do whenever we're laying the deck down, we're going to put globs of PL every so often, just to kind of add a little bit of cushion to the edge of the deck or the sole. So that way it's not just, sitting there floating out there in space. I know the glass will hold it up, but just, a little bit extra precaution. And I tell you, these stringers were actually done with just one layer of chop strand mat from the factory. It may have been heavier chop strand mat than what we normally use, but that's all it was, and full of air bubbles. And you see this right here? Look at that big gap right there. There was a huge air gap right in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to fill that with PO glue. So therefore, we actually just come right here and create a radius, and then go up and over the stringer. And then the center portion, which you can see down there, is that little, I call the dagger. That's 5/8 inch wood. And if you see that piece right there, that's the only thing left of that piece of wood. It was up in the front. Everything else was so rotten it just came apart in pieces. So what we're going to do is, once it's all, these two stringers are in, we're going to put in this dagger piece, leave it a little bit higher, and then we're going to run a line down that dagger with a piece of board that is like that little 1/2 inch right there all the way across with a pin on the end of it, and then we'll just cut it in the boat. And it goes back here to the bulkhead that's the bilge right in this area. Now I'll tell you, I know where a lot of the water got underneath here. You see that little spot right there for the dagger? It was never sealed properly, so the water ran up underneath there and it just wicked itself up into the dagger portion. So anyway, that's it so far. It's done. And you'll notice there's still a lot of places here that have not been ground, and I'll reiterate, those are not places that are going to get fiberglass. Maybe right here needs to be ground a little bit more, but places you don't have fiberglass actually being done, you don't need to grind those areas and take off more glass. You just need the areas prepped, ready for new glass, the places that you're going to actually put down new structure or anything like that. So we also got a lot of holes back in here we got to fill in. We're just going to use peanut butter for that. And then I've got the bilge pump area that I did end up cutting out. That was full of termites too. Kind of amazing how they get in there, but they were in there. And then we'll put a new square, glass it in. That'll be our bilge pump spot. And then our 2 spots over there for our swim ladder. But everything, there's not an old piece of wood left in here at all. That's it, all gone. So anyway, that is another weekend down the tubes, and we will start this again next weekend, or see if I can get to it a little bit this week. I got kind of a slow week. I'd like to have this thing, some stuff cut and somewhat mocked up in here before They've been glued in somewhat glass before the first of the year. I'm not going to hold my breath though. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching.